Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to a brand new video here today, and welcome to another episode from the Veloce Squad Sprint Series here for round number 2 of this second season here at the USA Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the first episode of this new series, then be sure to go check that one out before you see this one, because I explain all the setup and the rules of this series. Not going to go into that again, so let's just delve into this then. Obviously, last episode wasn't amazing for me. It was hilarious, but it wasn't amazing for me, so I was hoping to bounce back in this second race and do a lot better. Because I did crash out of that last episode, it did mean the reverse grid, I was actually quite high up, so I have a good chance of being out of the chaos. It's USA, obviously Sector 1's going to be mad, so hopefully kind of just avoid all that and have a solid race base and try and gain some points. Obviously I lost points to my kind of rivals, if you will, of the likes of Hayden, Joe Eterno, Niren even as well, and Liam in the McLaren's doing quite well, so need to try and catch up to those guys, you know, my fellow content creators basically, because obviously there's going to be a bit of a group in the standings, I feel, of content creators, so I'm trying to maybe be at the kind of top end of that basically, but we lost a lot of points last episode, so here's hoping we can gain some back today. So let's just cut in for some live audio here and see how myself and Ben are feeling as we go through the formation lap. I am in P2, I'm on the front row. Okay, sweet, nice.
Nice. P9 for me.
Although Danny's right behind me. I'm probably just gonna try and let Danny through, and then I'll follow Danny and Simon. Where is that twat? Niren is alongside you, he's P8.
Oh god.
Well, he's ahead of you. He's on the row ahead of you.
Die.
And Joe and Hayden are right behind you. You need to overtake Niren and then just get away. Get away. We need to beat these three. There's little sweat machines that took it way too seriously last time.
Oh, thank god I've got the formation lap to practice.
Yeah. Get the calibrations going. Gonna put the brake bias down to like 56. Is it just me? Does it look like it's going to start raining?
Oh, I didn't check the forecast, you know.
I didn't. I saw it. As in, like, I changed my fuel, but yeah, I didn't bother to look up at the weather. For frick's sake. I can see some spray off Simon's tyres. I don't like this.
No.
I don't like this one bit. This is going to be chaos if it starts raining straight away.
That's just what this race needed.
And also the inters are so shit on this game. Like, if you go too early, they just wang. Like, it's better just to stay sliding around on dries. I'm gonna put my diff down a little.
Yeah, mine's on 50.
Gonna be a little bit slippery out there.
I guess.
Okay.
Oh god.
Oh, Simon just lagged. That was not good. You just went,
Bye.
where the hell are you going, mate?
I won the formation lap.
Yes.
Get in there.
Very Ferrari of us to want to win the formation lap. We'll now tweet about this 5 times. Right, here we go. Yeah, those clouds do not look nice. Right, here we go. I think we're forming up nearly. So that was the pre-race chatter and formation, but here we go then, getting ready for 5 red lights for round number 2 of the Veloce Squad Sprint, season number 2. Here we go from the first row, 5 red lights are out and we're underway. Simon gets a good getaway, but we do as well, to be fair. Into turn 1 though, took it very, very easy there. You can see Danny just dive bombs around the outside. Probably took it a little bit too easy, but I was just so worried about going too wide there. Danny gets me. To be fair, Danny, obviously, the Alfa Romeo Racing esports driver, he's going to be quick, so it wasn't much of an issue for me for him to get away. Basically, him and Simon also. Obviously, Simon, if you know, is one of the Renault esports drivers, actually. So both these guys mega quick. So it was good for me just being P3. I was hoping to maybe just basically follow them a little bit as much as I could. We've got Liam there, in one of the McLarens behind me there in P4. So I'm hoping he was going to be a blockade basically for the other cars behind me basically. But that midfield is so packed. You've got like Hayden, Joe, Niren, Ben, and obviously the other Ferrari, my teammate then, and a whole lot of other people, Gillen, Ryan, everyone just kind of all in there, and they'll all going side by side in the S section, so that helped me out massively not to be anywhere near that. As you can see clearly by this then, a replay of what was happening on Ben's POV, you can see the whole gaggle of cars. He gets absolutely dive bombed there by Niren in the McLaren there. You've got Veloce Storm in the Haas on the inside. Ben nearly makes it 3 wide as he squeezes out Veloce James. Then a bit of contact for Jarno, and Jarno loses a bit of his front wing, and Ben is spun round, and he is spun to last place there. And so that is exactly why I was happy, actually, in a way, of the fact that I didn't have a good result at Brazil, because it meant I was nowhere near any of that action at the beginning of the race start there. And I didn't get spun basically, but Jarno with a bit of damage there in the Renault. Obviously, Jarno was quite hard last episode, so that's probably a good thing for the championship's sake. But for me, just trying to get to grips with this thing, I was actually surprised. I look back there, Liam with some interesting lines there, but actually keeping up with me. Fair play to him. Obviously, if you don't know, Liam Vizza is the one of the FIFA YouTubers signed to Veloce there, so I was surprised he was keeping up with me. But that was maybe more because I was being very tentative. Because as you would have heard, it was actually looking like it was raining at the start. Then it got kind of completely dry as we went on through to lap 4, but the first few laps were definitely a little bit, it wasn't fully bone dry in my opinion, like it was a little bit skatey here and there on the rear end. Eventually though, Veloce Hypers, who's one of the pro drivers for Veloce, catches up to me, so inevitable he's going to overtake me. He's on the mediums as well, so I tried to do, I try to follow him basically in the next phase of this GP, but he was always going to overtake me, so that's why I didn't make it too much of like an issue. Like I tried to fight him a little bit there. You can see a bit of a half-hearted attempt to maybe dive it down the inside, but in the end I always knew he was going to have better pace. I tapped him a little bit there, so he was a little bit slow on the entry point there and a little bit tighter on the line, but eventually he's going to pull away because these softs will start to wear out pretty quickly actually now as we move on to lap number 5 to 6, whereas his mediums can go a lot longer. But for at least the initial kind of half or one lap after he overtook me, I actually did keep up with him pretty well, maybe with some questionable racing lines here and there, but even Hypers after the race, when we got all in a call, Hypers was telling me that he was actually surprised I was keeping up with him for one lap at least, so yeah, I was kind of happy with how I did overall in this stint one, tried to do my best job. We're still P4, very lofty really, considering how last episode went for me and also how everyone else is doing in terms of my, kind of like I said, my main rivals are the likes of Hayden, Joe, Niren, Vizza, Ben, seeing where they are basically, it was a pretty decent first stint here in this compared to the madness that Ben was having. And speaking of that, we're going to move on to a POV and look back at what happened in the first stint for him. As we move on to lap number 2, he's catching up to Storm here in the Haas. He's got Raggy in the Mercedes car behind him here. He's down to P13. He's already gained 2 positions, though, off camera that we haven't seen on Raggy and someone else there. So he's done well to recover, actually, and kind of still be in the pack. If you can see in the minimap there in the bottom left, everyone's still quite close together as now Storm makes a mistake there, and Ben down the inside there. Storm on the kind of GT sport drivers there. I think he's, I believe he's using a pad, actually, on the F1 game. So he's doing quite well, actually, to just keep it through, because it's quite awkward to use a pad really compared to a wheel on this game. But Ben with a massive dive bomb that was on Alex Gillen there, and also Jarno Opmir, who's disconnected there, so not a great day for Jarno. 2 disconnects in a row there. Ben then overtakes Liam under yellow flag, so massive frustration for Ben here. This was in the cockpit here. This is probably one of the only few times one of us was talking really in this first stint, was when he was kind of getting very annoyed at what happened, because Liam was going so slow that the yellow flags came out, even though Liam didn't have the pace to keep Ben behind. But the massive dive bomb from Alex, I need to kind of give context to that. I think Gillen had damage on the front wings, that's why Ben was able to dive bomb him so effectively there, but it didn't matter at the end because obviously he had that massive kerfuffle with Liam with the yellow flag, so eventually Ben pit very early on lap number 4. And then as we move on, this is what was happening for my other rivals, quote-unquote rivals, Niren versus Joe here in the Racing Point car. Obviously the Racing Point team had a very good time last episode, and me and Ben were both saying we need to try and beat them there, because Joe and Hayden both basically sweated out the first race. They didn't fight each other, and they got a very good position. In theory, me and Ben should be comfortably beating the Racing Point cars, so it's a little bit annoying for us to see that. It was much better this race to see them fighting, hammer and tong basically on the opening laps here, kind of getting held up by the likes of Niren, Isaac there as well behind. Also, you've got Gillen in the mix of it with some damage. Joe with a nice bit of action here with Niren, dive down the inside to get him back there. So these two squabbling for a whole half lap there. So some decent action. Niren with a dive back down the inside last corner. They're side by side on the exit. I think Joe's still there. A little bit of a swipe there. And now you can see Jarno, this was before he disconnected, will get involved here. Where's he going to go? Double slipstream here. The dive down the inside there. It's 3 wide there. Jarno gets the move done. Double pass there. Niren still trying his best to keep some places there. And he's going to be in P7 at the moment ahead of Joe. A little bit of a mistake there though on the right-hander there. And Joe, is he going to go for the dive? Yes, he will. It's a late lunge there. The Alonso dive on a McLaren. There's Liam. Goes round, and that's exactly the point where Ben caught those guys up and had that yellow flag issue there. So giving you some context to the entire race in terms of my rivals at least. So I think this is maybe one of the best ways to do these kind of videos basically from Squad Sprint is showing you guys my POV, but then also showing you guys my kind of, you know, basically the people I'm looking to fight basically in the championship, I guess, long term over the course of the series here. So, and also just showing you the good action in the midfield, I guess, as my race was maybe a little bit more pedestrian-like, being kind of in clean air basically. So, Niren gets squeezed out by Storm then on lap number 5. Joe's got ahead of him. Gillen's actually got ahead of all these guys as well. And so these guys closing up. Liam's closing up as well in this midfield fight. But as we move through, we're going to now look at Hayden's POV for the first time here on lap number 5. And he was dive bombed there down the inside by Raggy. But a nice little switch back maybe for Hayden to get the car straightened up a little bit quicker. Open DRS. I think he will get it with overtake mode. Or I don't think so. Actually, you know what? I think he's been finessed here a little bit. I think Raggy has managed to get DRS there. Yes, he has. So Hayden without DRS. And Ben is coming now with a massive charge and a dive down inside. And that's how he got past Raggy there on lap number 5. Or I say did get past him. He actually overshot himself completely there. And they maintain the position. Although he comes out of nowhere. Actually, how on earth has he done that? I don't know where he came from. He must have just accelerated off the track there a little bit to keep it through there. So Ben gets up into P11, Hayden P10, and then Raggy, well, now not Raggy, actually Veloce James now is the one in P13 there. But we now move on back to my POV, lap number 7. And so I've been in P3 or 4 the entire time now. 3 since someone else pit, I think it was James. And now I'm going to come in for my first and only pit stop of the afternoon there.
Pretty happy with that stint though. I went the same amount of laps as Hypers on softs and he's on mediums.
Oh, wow.
So a bit of a waste, I guess, for him, really, more so than me.
Yeah, why has he gone so long on those tyres?
I think he maybe just thought that he was going to get into a crash, maybe. I think.
Yeah, just overcutting everyone. I kind of see the logic, yeah. Someone's crashed in the pit lane. That was our last. Oh, it's a visit.
Jesus. Oh! Oh, what? If that was a little bit earlier, that would have been perfect timing for me. Jesus. Okay, interesting. Oh, frick's sake, it's going to close everyone up. Oh, I had such a nice safe P4 in the bag.
James, you can overtake the safety car. Green light's on, mate.
Oh, I had such a nice safe P4 in the bag. Oh, goddamn. Oh, well. Oh, slow down. Jesus Christ, I hate the delta time on the safety car. It's so slow sometimes.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Well, I know that's the point, but you get what I mean.
What tyres are you on?
Mediums. I literally made my pit stop as the safety car came out.
Okay, I'm kind of tempted to switch back.
If that safety car came on like a lap earlier or half a lap earlier, then that would have really gained me a lot of time.
Yeah.
Where are you?
I'm P6 now.
On medium since the start of the race, or like lap 2, 3.
No, I switched to my softs on lap 3 or 4.
Oh right.
I'm tempted to box for another. I'm tempted to box for another set of options. To be honest, he is staying out.
I thought about pitting as well, you know, because I just looked at my window thing, and it said I'd come out in P6, so
I'm risking it.
Could have gone for it, but no, I'm gonna take the track position instead.
Come on,
because
come on.
Safety car probably comes in this lap, I think, or maybe not, because we're not in caught the safety car yet. I'm gonna have a lot of fast people behind me on soft tires. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm literally going to put my head through a window if someone knocks my front wing off. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I got to risk it, you know, for the content.
Yeah, all for the content, mate.
So we now come through to the end of the safety car period. So that was what myself and Ben were thinking throughout this entire situation here. So the safety car kind of, I would say, probably screwed me over a little bit, to be honest. I think I would have preferred it not to be safety car. But of course, there's some action now here to come. But very awkward here. Danny warming up the tyres here. I didn't want to hit Hypers because you can hit other cars online. Doesn't ghost here. So I was very, very careful. But Danny is going to go in about 3, 2, 1. And Hyper's going to go with him. And basically, I just didn't clock that they were going to go as quickly. Like literally right about now, there goes Danny, and he's also pulled the wool over Hyper's eyes. James gets me. I think that was a legit overtake, but then he goes wide, and then I absolutely send it here, but I just completely... basically just didn't realise how far through the corner we were. Like I was looking at James's car rather than where the brake marker board was, so that's why I had a massive issue there going off track. I'm going to try and dive bomb Simon here, which I was very proud of. I think at the time James on the team radio said go on Arav, because obviously Simon being an esports driver, I didn't really think I was going to actually be able to make the dive there, but pulled it through for a small few seconds there before Simon obviously switched back on me and got the move done. Obviously also you can see everyone's on soft tyres, so I had no chance really. The medium tyres were already going to be slower, but in the chaos here, this is what I didn't see behind me.
way. Hayden getting stuck in with Joe, Isaac as well, and Alex Gillen, and even Ben as well, who's in there. And you can see Joe with a horrendous dive on Alex there, and he's made it work, actually, to be fair, and Hayden's been dive bombed now by Raggy, so a lot of dives going on here in the kind of midfield to tail end of the grid after the safety car came in here, and so Hayden now defending from Raggy. Gillen side by side with Joe. Gillen down the inside there, bit of contact made, and so Hayden will try and get stuck in, maybe Raggy side by side with Isaac, I think that was, behind there in the Williams v Mercedes. Joe kicks off Gillen offline there, and Gillen's still got damage, you can see, on the front right of the front wing there, so Hayden able to go now around the outside. Nice little move there. Gillen tries to squeeze him though, but surely Hayden will have the grip through the next double right-hander there with the downforce, cuts the curb a little bit and gets up into P9 here. So it looks like, unfortunately, yet again, the Racing Points are finessing their way into points. I don't know how they're doing it, but they are. But here we are now in P5, watching James and Simon fight there. I was hoping on lap 11, if they fight enough, I could cut enough corners and basically close up to them. Unfortunately, that was not to be. This was as close as I could get, basically, to the rear end of James and Simon, because obviously my mediums were already quite worn. I mean, I say quite worn, I mean just a bit more worn than obviously their fresh soft tyres, because a lot of these guys pit under the safety car or pit very close to the safety car, and so in the end for me it was just a case of going as long as I could, and eventually Ben would catch me up. But before we get to that, some nice bit of squabbling between the two Racing Point cars, and this would actually eventually be their downfall, I think, because they're fighting so much, and they could be catching Storm up ahead, but these two are fighting so hard, going side by side. Joe dive bombs Hayden dive bombed Joe earlier, and so these two losing time to the cars ahead, so that's going to help me out. But we move through now towards the last lap of the Grand Prix then, and so this is myself versus Ben, Ferrari v Ferrari, and so here we are on board with Ben closing up. We're going to try and close off the slipstream on the left hand side, go defensive to the inside. We go a little bit early on the brakes, to be honest, and Ben around the inside, but he goes way too wide with a lock up on the front right and almost goes off circuit there, so we maintain the position. But to be fair, it means that Ben will get the DRS onto the main straight here, so as we pull through the S section, we're going to maintain the position. But I was saying to Ben at this point here earlier that it's just a shame that I was on mediums. I probably could have pit, like I said, onto a set of soft tyres. In hindsight, maybe should have, because now I'm a sitting duck pretty much, because all through these corners you can see Ben is closing up in the mirrors there, and he's right on my tail now as we go through to the main straight of the hairpin on the left. He's going to obviously not dive bomb, he's going to keep through for the DRS, and so we're going to cut to some live commentary just for this overtake here and see how it goes. Squeaky bomb time.
Oh my god. Classic Ferrari contact.
So it got a little bit hairy there. I tried my best. I'm still trying my best, to be honest, here through the last few corners of this last lap of the episode number 2 of the squad sprint for Veloce here. But P6 it'll be. It'll have to do. Ben definitely benefited a lot more from the safety car than I did. If the safety car didn't come out, I definitely would have probably grabbed P4 minimum. I think you would have said, or P4 or 5 actually. I think, because I think Simon or James were kind of out of it there. But across the line, P6. 5 and 6, much better race for Ferrari, and for me it was a much better race obviously compared to Brazil in terms of finishing the race, and also just a pretty decent lofty position in terms of points. But I think Hayden and Joe, or one of them, might still have more points than me for next episode for the championship. I've definitely overtaken Niren then, which is obviously the important thing here. If you guys don't know, I'm flatmates with Niren, so it's an important rivalry here in this season that I overtake him and maintain that dominance over him in the F1 realm, of course, because he's a FIFA YouTuber. You can see the kind of action from Hayden's POV as he snakes around down to P11, so this was beautiful to see. You know, my main rivals here, Niren and Hayden, out the points here, even Joe. Good stuff. You love to see it. Alex dive bombs Niren. Niren dive bombs himself really, just gets flustered and pushes Hayden out there. Even Liam gets Hayden there, which is frankly embarrassing really for him. And I think Joe also got down the inside there, so Hayden being finessed a little bit. But you can see now the two McLarens going neck and neck, Liam and Niren. I think Niren's got some sort of issue there, because Liam's right back in this Grand Prix. Maybe, tries to dive bomb there. Joe getting away from them up ahead, and so we crossed the line there, and that's how the race pretty much ended for everyone there in kind of the midfield fight, I guess you could say.
Decent.
That's a good result for the team.
5-6, especially after your spin. 5-6, decent.
Yeah. I think we...
Good shit.
Okay, maybe apart from, like...
Hayden
Danny.
and Joe not on the points. That's what we... Oh, Hayden's off to P10. Shit!
How has he shithoused himself to P10?
I want a review of that.
I was going to say double no points for Joe and Hayden. Get in.
Bastards.
We're not bitter at all.
No, of course not. But I think apart from, like, what, Danny, we might have got the highest points, constructor-wise.
Yeah, maybe. I'm curious. Let's see. Results. Skip that. Right, we got... What do we get? Points-wise, that's, yeah, isn't it? Yeah, 15, 12, 10, 18, yeah. So, yeah, apart from Danny, yeah, I think we did as a team get the most points. Solid.
Get in there, Lewis.
Get in. More consistency like this. We're taking home the bacon.
The Constructors' Championship is what matters most at the end of the day.
Exactly. We all know that. So that has been episode number 2 of the Veloce Squad Sprint Season 2 number, guys, at the USA GP. If you did enjoy it, then be sure to hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And like I said, this is a very different kind of video I've ever done. It's not really a career mode. It's not really a normal online video that I've ever done in the past. So let me know. Keep kind of giving me any kind of feedback of did you guys enjoy seeing everyone else's POVs, the kind of quote-unquote rivals of mine, kind of seeing their context, is obviously those guys are the kind of guys I'm looking to compete against in the points. So was it good to kind of see their POVs? Let me know in the comments below. If you're already around here, subscribe for weekly Fallen content, and obviously make sure you check out the full video over on Veloce's channel. But till then, guys, hope you enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.